All right, so we're working on a 1990
Yes.
Honda CRX DX, the
base
kind of the base model. It's a 1.5, right, or something? The engine?
I
think
yes,
that's what it is.
1.5 liter. It's the D15 B2.
All right, so what happened was we replaced the distributor about a year ago.
About a year, maybe year and a half.
Year and a half ago, and
And also the spark plugs and the spark plug wires.
We've done the timing belt on it. We've also done the valve cover. Of course, you pull off the valve cover to do the timing belt. Anyway, so what happened about 6 months ago?
Yeah, somewhere around there, maybe. Yeah, about 6 months ago.
6 months ago, it started to misfire really bad, to the point of you couldn't even drive the car. Maybe in first gear, but that was about it, right? Maybe.
I could drive it if I didn't push too hard on the accelerator pedal, and if I kept it under 40. And then sometimes if I got up to 50 or 60 in fifth gear, I would still get some of the misfiring, but it wasn't quite as violent. When it first started off, it was barely even noticeable. I thought it was just the road I was driving on. And then as it got worse, then it was definitely, okay, I can tell it's misfiring. And then one day, about 3 months ago, I pulled out of the parking space at my apartment complex, and it was like being on a Bronco horse.
Yeah.
The thing was jerking so bad.
Yeah.
But the same thing, if I accelerated slowly, it still had the misfiring, but it wasn't too bad. And same thing in second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear. But I didn't want to ruin the engine. I thought I would ruin the engine. And I thought it was because it seemed to get worse after I put this Permatex here, because the gasket for this air cover, we had done a smoke test.
Smoke test, yeah.
There was a lot of smoke coming out here, and I think here, and maybe
Pretty much around there,
too.
yeah.
There's some down here too, but this was the one that I put the Permatex on, and it seemed to get worse. And so I thought, for some reason, that is what was causing the misfiring. So I ended up taking a bunch of it off, and it actually didn't make any difference, or it made it worse. So then I knew it had to be something else. So when I did the research, one of the suggestions was that there's a coolant temperature sensor right underneath the distributor here, and there was a guy that posted on a CRX forum that said he was having the same misfiring issue, and his dad told him, yeah, change out that coolant temperature, that'll fix it. And he thought, yeah, right, old boomer.
Yeah.
Didn't believe his dad, so he tried some other things that didn't fix it. And then he said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and try the coolant temperature sensor, change that out. Sure enough, when he did it, that fixed the issue. So
well, that we know of.
right.
I mean,
But we haven't changed it out. So then, was it about a month ago, Hector came in and he checked the continuity on the spark plugs. Everything checked out. We didn't take this apart to check it. Actually, we did take the cover off. There was a little bit of corrosion, but it didn't seem to be enough to cause the misfiring issue. So we left it for another day, and then I had somebody else that was helping me that had a friend that was a mechanic. He came over to check it out because he wanted me to be driving my car. He took the cover off, and then I think he noticed on the
you can put it over
igniter,
here. No,
that
coil.
The coil, I'm sorry.
Coil assembly according to Honda.
That for whatever reason he figured, okay, it's got to be this.
Yeah, it looks like a crack or something.
And then
on there.
once we got it out, I noticed this huge crack right back here.
Yeah, there's a crack. Who knows that?
And there might be a few others, but it's hard to tell if it's like this. I thought this was a crack, but that's actually in every single one I've looked up. This right here, I think is might be a crack also, but that also could just be part of the manufacturing thing.
Yeah, part of the
so
mold,
anyway,
mold.
When this was replaced, I kept the old distributor. I think it's a Honda OEM, but I'm not positive. The reason we changed it out was where it connects here to the engine, the O-ring was leaking. It was so old and brittle. So we put the new one in, and that fixed the leaking issue. But then apparently the coil in there went bad. This is the one that we took out. So I had the old distributor, took out the coil from that one, put it in here, so it's in there now, and took the bad one out,
So-
the newer one.
So this one is from this aftermarket one.
Right.
And the original one that we know that it's original, right?
I'm
I
pretty
mean,
sure
we're
it's original, yeah.
We put it in, or the other mechanic put it in here and it worked. Now, one of the things that he started noticing before it got real bad was his RPM gauge was bouncing really bad. Right?
Right.
You started noticing that before
Way
it got,
before,
way before.
right, yeah.
Okay.
And we had tried to fix that before. We thought it might be something with the throttle valve, and nothing ever fixed it. Although it did seem to go down a bit. It wasn't quite as volatile when we did. What was it? Was it the PCV valve or something? I can't remember.
We changed the PCV valve because that thing was really bad.
Yeah, that was,
it was
the inside of the
was
of
bad.
the hose. This is a aftermarket hose that it's not shaped like the original, because you can't find those anymore. But the inside of it was just corroded. It was just literally melting and falling apart. So I still had the tachometer needle bouncing around, but once this was fixed with the putting in the old coil from the old distributor, which I believe is a Honda OEM, it fixed the misfiring, and now the tachometer needle moves like it's supposed to. There's no bouncing, there's no jerking around on it. I also noticed I have a battery voltage meter stuck in the cigarette lighter outlet, and I noticed since getting that fixed, that when I start up the car, the voltage now reads at 13.5, 13.7. As I'm driving, it stays up pretty high. Before this was the old coil was put in, it would get maybe to 12.7, 12.5. So that seems to have also fixed whatever that issue was, that because this was causing the misfiring, it wasn't providing enough energy.
Yeah, or it was shorting out.
Or shorting out.
It had to have been shorting out.
So it wasn't providing enough to the battery or to keep the car running.
I had told Rudy that it had to be something with the distributor, because that was the only thing that it could be, because well, first we checked the wires, because I thought, hey, maybe you got a wire that's bad and it's shorting out to the, and we checked that and we couldn't see anything. We checked the what do you call it, the continuity and all that stuff, and at the time we couldn't really repair it. So anyway, so what I did is I got him one from NGK, because you cannot find them anymore.
Right, Honda doesn't make them anymore. Now you can't find one. I think I saw one in Japan for the whole distributor. It was about $800 maybe a month ago or so.
Yeah. Now what the issue is that he wants to send this back, because it's got a
limited lifetime
warranty from Rock Auto. By the way, this is what I found. This is the NGK 48819U1155 for this camera. Thinking about my Hasselblad camera for this car. And the only thing I don't like is it's made in freaking China. That's the only thing I don't like. Anyway, so this is the new one. And NGK, for the majority of Hondas and the majority of Toyotas and stuff, it's either an NGK spark plugs or coils that they're using, or for Toyotas it could be Denso. So it just depends. But anyway, so we're going to go ahead and remove this, put this one back, or put this one in there, and then at some point we're going to have to repair your old one, right?
Right, so this is the old one.
There you go, there's the old one.
We had, it was leaking from here.
They can't see that, you have it, yeah.
It was leaking from this
O-rings,
gasket,
yeah.
And also there's one on the inside.
Went way inside.
So it was leaking oil. So about a year ago or so, we took this one out. We were going to try to replace those O-rings, and then you've got 3 screws. There's one right there. There's
One right here?
2, and then here's the third one up here.
Down a little bit, right?
Well,
Right
when we tried taking this third one out, so
It broke.
1, 2, 3, it snapped. So we decided, well, we're just going to put it back in, let it leak a little bit longer until I get this distributor in. So I ordered this one, it came in, so we put in this.
Just swapped it out.
And just took this one out. But then maybe a year into having this distributor, the coil here started going bad because it's got that crack. So we took out the coil from here, put it in here. So this coil is from this distributor. I'm pretty sure
And
this
that's
is
original.
Honda OEM.
And we're assuming, never assume. Anyway, assuming that this is the original one Honda, right?
Right.
So at some point, I told Rudy, I said, if you bring that down here, that we'll go ahead and repair this one. I'll take this out and we'll find some new screws, because they're going to break. We'll replace the O-ring in there, put it all back together, and then put it in, and then he can send this off
Right. So
to
then
get
I'll
another
have
one.
the new one that went bad with the new coil that went bad. It's got a limited lifetime warranty from the manufacturer. I forget who
we'll
made
send
it.
it off, man.
So I'll send it all back, and then they'll send me a new one, hopefully.
Yep. So that's what we're doing right now. We're gonna just all we're gonna do is gonna pull this guy off right here, put the NGK, and cross our fingers that it works because it's made in China. Don't mention the time.
Or Japan, isn't it?
No, this one's China.
They're making China. Oh, man, they're making everything.
Everything over there. It's okay. Do they make some decent stuff? Yes, they do.
Yeah.
But the majority of the stuff they make over there, it's pretty much crap, man. And OEM. I follow Ivan from Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics, and I follow another guy, Eric O from South Main Auto, and some other guys too. And they all say if you're gonna mess with the ignition part, anything that deals with spark plugs, spark plug wires, coils, and all that, whether it's an American car to a Japanese or whatever, you have to use original manufacturer. You have to go to the dealer and pay the price, not only just for these, but also if you're dealing with fuel injectors, because those guys have been bitten in the butt. And then they say, man, it's just, do you want the good stuff or do you want the bad stuff?
Yep, I had same thing with alternators.
Oh God.
One time I had my mechanic, this was years ago, put in aftermarket from AutoZone, or I can't remember which one it was. It lasted a week or two, I don't remember, 6 months maybe. Then I went through one of the other local AutoZone maybe, or Advanced. Mm-hmm. Same thing, that one lasted not even a year, I think. Then I tried O'Reilly, same thing. And after the third one, it might have been after the second one, I told him, order the Honda OEM. I don't want to be messing with it. It costs me money and labor every time I've got to get this replaced.
Yep.
So once I got the Honda one in there, didn't have problem for years.
Yeah, it's. I'm assuming we're gonna have to loosen this guy too, because this has got to be moved out, right? This guy, because we got to get to those screws.
No, he took the gasket off, and then this part comes right out.
Be careful, because we don't want to. Yeah, be careful, because the wires do go in. Okay, so we have enough room to. Oh man, let's not lose that. Okay, so you can see we just kind of removed this gasket a little bit. There's this rubber thing, that little rubber piece that goes right there. To get to the screw, I'm going to go ahead and open this. I can open it. They don't want you to open it. There we go. So yeah, so we have to get to the screws. There's a screw here, screw there, screw there, screw there. And then these are the, the blue white is positive.
Yeah.
Okay, or negative rather. Blue white is negative, and then the other one is, at least that's the way it is though. So let me get a screwdriver then, right? a Phillips screwdriver. Eventually we would have figured this out. You know that?
Right. Yeah, what Hector and I were going to do, we were going to replace the newer NGK spark plug wires that we'd put in. So we were going to put the old ones on there and see if that made a difference. If it didn't, we'd put these back on, and then we were going to replace the new distributor with the old distributor that still had the old coil on it.
And don't lose the screws.
And that would have fixed it. So we would have realized,
It had
or
to be
known at that point, it had to be something with the distributor.
Yeah, and I kept telling Rudy, God, there's got to be something's got to be going on with the distributor. It has to be in there because, you know, it just didn't seem like it was anything else. But anyway, the other guy must have been, you know, he had a lot of experience, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, he's
other
a
mechanic?
diesel mechanic, been doing it for decades.
Decades, yeah.
20 years, 30 years, something like that.
Wow. That's awesome. I mean, we would have eventually figured it out, but man, Rudy needed his car, and I was teaching and kind of hard to do stuff, but
And I had somebody that I could get a ride from. I live close enough to a grocery store that if I needed dry food, I could just walk down there.
nice.
And I wasn't working at the time, and now I'm going to be getting hopefully a remote job, so it'll be nice to have the car, but it's not critical to
Okay,
get me
that
to
has to go down a little bit.
get me to
All right,
to work.
So that's your. Let me give you that.
all right.
Now this one comes all with.
So this one got a little dusty.
Yeah.
I don't know where it was coming in through the. I think he might have used the old gasket, but back here, like on the. Let me show that on the old one. So right there's a crack. This is the
Over here. You need to move it. Right there you go.
the new one. That look at that crack right there. So there's no crack there.
Yeah, it's hard.
I thought
hard
this
to
was
tell.
I thought this was a crack,
it's
but
not.
they're all, that's just part of the manufacturing process, how they make it.
Yeah.
A couple others here on the side. Well, no, look, this one, that one's hard to tell. That one right there.
Mhm.
This other one,
This was made in Taiwan.
yeah. So this one doesn't have. I don't know if that's a crack or just part of the manufacturing process, but so that may or may not have been an issue. But this one definitely here. That's definitely a crack.
Yeah.
So that's pretty sure that's where I was getting all that misfiring coming from. All right.
Well, possibly because, I mean, we kind of don't know because if you look at this one has a shield all the way around it. Okay, so it's grounding through the screws, right?
Well, this one had a
So-
shield also.
Yeah. You got the screws over there. Oh, did he take it off?
For some reason, he didn't put it back in. And see,
Okay.
this one's built in. Looks like.
Yeah. And this one's just, it's probably just the plastic
Yeah.
that's shielding it. It could already have the shield in there. I don't think, there's
we
no
could-
way, well, you could put that on there.
Yeah.
I wonder if that thing will come off of there. Does it come off?
Well, it should. Yeah. Look, it's got the same notch.
Shall we, possibly,
Maybe he did switch it out, and this is the older shield, or the original shield from the Honda OEM one.
let me try this. This is the Honda right here.
Right.
Let me try something. Oh yeah, no, it comes off like.
Yep. Came right off.
Okay, so which one do you want to put on there? You want to put that one?
Let's see. This is the newer one.
No,
Yeah. Let's keep.
this is the newer one.
Oh.
Keep this one on the Honda, on the original.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is the original Honda OEM with the original shield. We're going to keep that together
Yeah.
because we're going to try to rebuild it. So we're going to use the shield from the newer distributor and the newer coil with the new NGK coil.
Let's just hope it works. All right, screws. Need the screws. Don't lose them. Yeah, because you know the coil just built up a lot of spark, man, and so you do have a lot of magnetic
Yeah.
pulses happening. So you don't want to. Come on, there you go.
Okay.
How's that?
I'm trying to figure out which
One's a new one?
Yeah. And they're shaped a little bit different, looks like. Yeah, I think this is the Honda one. I don't think he put in the newer one.
You want to put the new one in?
Yeah. I think that's why that dust was getting in there.
All right, and you don't. I don't think you need to gorilla tighten these things, so I'm just doing them snug.
So this is a gasket. I believe this is the Honda OEM one, and I believe this is a newer one. That was, I think it was on the newer distributor, but when the other mechanic replaced the coil, he got these mixed up and put the original gasket in. That's why there was some dust on the top. Now it is a little bit different. Looks like it's got this going in right there. Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. See, this one does not have. This part is built in, I think.
It's over here.
And it's over there. So he just put that in with this.
Yeah.
This is already built in, so we didn't need that part. And this one's shinier. This one's pretty dull and faded.
Yeah.
So we're going to use the newer one that
let's get this on there. Okay. Right on top. Yep.
And if you notice what Hector was doing there, he was unscrewing the screw to find the groove for it to go, or the threads to go in there. It makes it much easier than trying to just thread it directly.
Okay, is that the new one?
Yeah.
Okay, now this one's gonna go. This thing went a specific way in here. It went in there like that. Like that. You don't want that to be coming off and getting getting involved with this guy right here.
Yeah.
Because then you'll really have an issue. What was Ronnie saying? Just get a new car.
That's what my friend that brought the diesel mechanic over that switched that out. They were both saying, "Yeah, you just need to get a new car, Rudy."
Well, no,
not gonna happen.
You know, if you
I've had this car since 1990.
Are you gonna pay for it, right?
Yeah, no car payment since 1996. I had a 3-year loan originally, and then I borrowed it. I borrowed against the value of the car right after that. So no car payment since 1996. A couple years ago, I was able to get a 1-year minimum insurance policy with, I believe it was the Liberty Insurance Company.
Liberty Mutual or whatever.
For $200. And then they quit doing the 1 year, and I switched over to Liberty Mutual, one of their subsidiaries or whatever it's called. And now it's a little more expensive. It's close to $200 every 6 months. Geico wanted like $800, and I forget some of the others were $1,200. I was like, no way. So anyway, cheap insurance, no car payments. Once I got the misfiring fixed, the gas mileage is going back up. It got down as low as 24 miles to the gallon. I normally get in the city anywhere from 30 to 32 or so. On the highway, normally about 34. The highest I ever got was 52 miles per gallon. But now with this on there and then no more misfiring, I'm hoping that it's, and once we get all this sealed and get the new seals on the throttle body, I'm hoping that the gas mileage is going to go back up into the 36, 38, and maybe even higher on the highway. But in the city, I'm expecting 36.
Now, we do have to fix, he does have a leak, a vacuum leak over here. That definitely we're gonna have to address
Yeah.
at some point, you know.
And we did already, several months back, we did change all the vacuum
Some of the
lines.
hoses, yeah.
Those we were able to find original Honda OEM vacuum lines. So all those are changed out. So we just got to fix the vacuum leak here on this cover. And then back here where the throttle position sensor is, I believe behind it there's an O-ring. Pretty sure we had a leak back there. And I think there was one other leak. I don't remember where it was coming from though. Oh, it might be underneath here where the air cover sits on top of the throttle body. So once we get all that fixed, it should be running the way it should be. Maybe not quite right off the showroom floor, but it's going to be much better.
It's going to be running a lot better.
AC still works. We're going to check it because...
Still R12.
Right. A mechanic years ago, without telling me, switched it to R134. I drove it for a few days. This was in Austin during the summer, or just about any time of the year. It's hot up there in Texas.
Just like here.
And it just wasn't cooling, so I took it back to him. I said, hey, you know, something's wrong because it's just not cooling like it used to. And that's when he told me, oh, we switched it over to 134. I got pissed. What'd you do that for? I didn't ask you to do that. You need to switch it back to the R12. Once he switched it back to R12, yep, everything was cooling the way it was supposed to.
Do you want to go ahead and give it a shot right now? And
Yeah.
hang on, let me. I think this went right here. So we're gonna clean those out, right?
Yeah.
There's some oil. There's some oil that we think it's the gaskets that are around from the head to the spark plug tube, as they call it.
Tube seals, yeah. Or gaskets.
And I don't know. Eventually, we're gonna have to pull this off and replace them, and hopefully hope that that's the problem.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's not going to be the ones at the bottom, the valve seals.
The valve seal is way down there. Okay. Let me just grab this out of the way.
All right.
And you're ready to go.
Okay, it's in neutral.
Yep. Sounds good.
And it's not,
Sounds like the valves probably need to be adjusted. Well, that was fairly easy. Now, you know, the truth is you're gonna have to drive it and make sure it's not.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be.
Yeah, it sounded fine, and the needle's not moving. The voltage was up, so.
You're talking about the tachometer wasn't bouncing, right?
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the fix. So if you have a tachometer that's doing this, it's definitely going to be something in here. And in this case, it was the coil assembly that was bad on this OEM. I'm sorry, on this aftermarket
Right.
distributor and stuff. So we'll end up repairing the other one, hopefully. Right?
Yeah.
And then that way he can have two, and he's going to end up sending this one back.
Yeah, so once we fix the old one, we'll put it in, take this one out,
Take out the coil.
NGK coil, put in
I mean, the one that's
the one
bad.
that went with it,
Yeah.
and then send it back because that does have a limited lifetime warranty. The crack is pretty obvious, and so that they should replace that. I'll leave the Honda one on there, and then keep this replacement that they're going to send me. I'm going to keep it as a backup so that if something happens with the Honda, I don't have to wait a few days to order one to come in or whatever aftermarket. I'll already have it with me. And so anytime you're having that tachometer needle bouncing, or you're having misfiring, everything I read, not one mentioned that it might be the coil in the distributor.
Yeah.
They had all sorts of other solutions, vacuum lines, all this other kind of stuff. Not one mentioned it, and yet I had the diesel mechanic
Diesel
in Hector
mechanic.
that realized that's what it was when he switched it out. It fixed everything. So
That's awesome.
I'll be posting that on some of the CRX forums to help out somebody else. Because
Alright.
I've seen some where they were never able to fix that speedometer jumping around like that. I'm sorry, not the speedometer, the tachometer.
Tachometer.
So hopefully that'll help somebody else out there. Check that coil.
All right. See y'all later.